G'day, mate, and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. Now, I've loaded up my last save, and I've got two saves for last episode. One is episode 39, because obviously I've lost, my saves are off by one according to the episodes, because I know last episode was episode 40, and therefore this one is episode 41, but yet my save files say 39, but that's besides the point. And I've also got a second save saying that copper was patched. Now, I don't know what that means. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's been a couple of days between recording sessions, so... Oh. No. Yes. Okay. So I tapped this copper patch. That's what I did. I did that off camera, and I just tied it into our existing copper belts that we have here. And fed them up into our smelter because our one single copper outpost was not keeping up. There we go. That's what I did. So, and I did all that with belts because I couldn't be bothered running a train down here. There wasn't a lot of room, and that had been pushing up the walls and doing all sorts of things. So, we did that. Oh, I did that. The other thing I did is I fixed up plastic. Turns out when I'd blueprinted things, I was missing a single... pipe, which was stopping half of these running. Also upgraded using good old upgrade planner a lot of this belt to blue belt. So now we can see that plastic is running full pelt all the way to the end. Copper's still not making it to the end, even though we have 4 lots of smelters running flat out. But copper's being used in a lot of places. One of the places it's really being used is in our green circuit production. And what we want to do is we want to start using our beacons and our modules to start upgrading these things. The other thing that I'd really love to do, and I assume, yeah, we've now got them, is we can start upgrading with assembly machine 3s. Mainly because they allow us to have more modules. Now, the way this system works is, this one's a little bit different. Yeah, so the front ones always run, whereas the rear ones hardly ever run. They end up backed up and then they don't do anything because of splitters. Whereas in something like gears, it's the rear ones that run the most and the front ones sit there and do nothing. So, we have a lot of modules sitting here doing nothing. Alright. So, what I want to do is I want to start upgrading these. And honestly... okay, so you go in there, which means... all that crap has to be removed. Then you go away. Another one goes in there. We put a power pole in there and a power pole in there. And then same with this. All this goes away. Put another one there. And one there. We get rid of that stuff. And then I don't know. I can't copy modules over the top. So, can I request modules to start with? I have 9 on the way. And we're going to use 2, 4, 6, 8. That's okay. That's a good start. Ideally, I'd love to upgrade these to tier 3 machines. Just because we can then throw even more modules in them, which will save us even more resources. The catch is it's 50-50 whether we want more machines running with less modules, or we want more machines running on a tier 2 machine with modules, or whether we want less total machines with modules, but they all have more modules in them. It's a catch-22, like I said. That can go away, that can go away, that can go away. The other thing that we finished researching is uranium ammo. So that's something I actually really want to start working on this episode. We are making fuel cells, of course, and we now also have enough of the shiny rocks to start the Koverex enrichment process, which we should have researched. We have. Come on, modules. You know what? I can't be bothered. Copy that to there. Copy that to there and that to there. Stop requesting modules. No, go away, bot. Thank you. I've walked outside the Logi network. They're no longer going to get delivered to me. They're going to go into these guys eventually. But now we've done that, we should be able to use a filter deconstruction planner and just filter out and just destroy this whole area and then blueprint, copy these and just blueprint them down. At least that's the long-term plan. So, Koverex enrichment. First off, I'm going to want one of those. So I'll blueprint ahead and have a robot fly one up here for me. Actually, let's do one better. Let's steal a few of these. So, Koverex enrichment uses... I'll put some of these guys down first. Go away, tree. It brings in 40 of the 235, so the shiny rocks, and then 5 of the 238, being the dull rocks, and then outputs after 60 seconds 41 of the shiny rocks and only 2 of the dull rocks. So it slowly converts from one process to the other. Now, obviously, it takes some time to run and to propagate. So what we want to do is, as we only have one machine to start with, we're going to steal all of those, and we're going to start a bootstrap machine to just run this process. So I'm going to put these in here, and I'm going to filter you to pull out shiny rocks, and then I can request them across. Sure, let's request them across. Make one of them. Give me boxes. Okay, and we're going to filter you to be dull rocks. And you know what? We'll just take 100 for the moment. And I'm going to put them in there. And as you can see, this machine will fill up. It'll complete its process. And then it'll spit out a few more shiny rocks. Now, you can't... Oh. No, maybe you can. Yes, in 17 we can put productivity modules in these, which is a big change. On the way, 6. Excellent. So we can put productivity modules in these to get a little bit of extra productivity out of them. It means that we're going to get 30% extra per cycle. No, hang on. We're going to get 10% extra twice. So we're going to get 20% extra out of this every single time it completes a cycle. Because it only produces one, it means 5 times through the cycle, we're going to get 1.2 rocks out, which obviously you can't have 0.2 of a rock. So it's going to have to complete a lot of cycles for us to get that extra bonus uranium at the cost of speed. So we really have to look at adding speed beacons to this to keep this running at the, at a reasonable speed at least. Am I not standing in a network? It looks like no. It looks like I keep accidentally wandering outside the network. So I'll put that up there. So yeah, we're going to add some productivity modules to this. We're going to make it a little bit faster. As you can see, there's now 50 in the machine. And we started with 40 something. I don't even remember how much. Actually, what we can do... I don't even remember how much we started with. Like 46, I want to say. But yeah, it's slowly going to complete its cycles. And each time around, we're going to have just a few more uranium. So now we've got 51 in there. So it's going to slowly increase up. Now, ideally, what you actually want to do is you want to put this on a... Hang on, let's get our speed beacon. So we're running at a speed of, crafting speed of 1. We're now on a crafting speed of 0.7. And as you can see, that purple bar is slowly creeping up. But we can add speed modules, we can add speed beacons to that, so that's fine. So what we actually want to do is we want to put a few of these running together, okay? Preferably in a long line. And then we want to take our output from here, being our shiny rocks, run it into this system probably first. well, run it into this system, along with making sure it has a continuous feed of the dull rocks as well to keep it up and running. I hope all that makes sense. But if it doesn't, it's okay. We're gonna build it slowly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have an output. We're gonna have an output there. We're gonna run belts this way. I actually want to copy that one so it copies across the filter. So we're going to put our shiny rocks, and the very first thing I need to do is I need to get myself an extra tile of space, and bring a RoboPort down here, obviously. You. Okay. So I want to put in a splitter like that, and I want to filter shiny rocks to the right. No, to the other right. Yep, so shiny rocks are going to come this way. We're going to underground from there to there, so that's out of our way. So we've got all our shiny rocks on this belt. And I'm going to feed them into this system. Now, on top of that, I need to have my dull rocks as well. Okay, so I need to get my dull rocks. Yeah. Bring them around. And feed them in here. Now, this is a simple... What are we going to do? We're going to do output first, input second. Yeah. Same as we've done here. So the idea is that this is going to eventually, and I'll steal some from here, so we can actually see this one running. So this is going to output here onto the belt. And when it outputs, I want to have a chance for this machine to pick back up its own rocks to cycle again. Okay, that's going to be very, very important part of this process. I want this machine to be able to recycle its own uranium over and over and over. I want the exact same thing to happen here. But we remember from our inserter lessons that inserters are lazy and they pick up from the close side and they output on the far side. So I actually want this guy to bring his shiny rocks. Do I have any shiny rocks? Of course I don't. They're rare. Give me some shiny rocks. So I want my shiny rocks, in this case, to output. I want to make sure there's always room for it to output on the far side of the belt. Okay? And I want the exact same thing to happen here. I want to make sure that there's always room for it to output on the far side of the belt. Because it'd have to run through a lot more cycles before it would back up. But same thing applies. I want to make sure that there's always room. Actually, you can see that inserter right now is carrying rocks that it can't output to. So I want to make sure that my dull rocks only get filled on one side of the belt, and my shiny rocks only get filled on the same story, just on one side of the belt. Okay. On top of all that, no, let's get this around the right way. Okay, so this system would now run pretty much indefinitely for just one machine. The other thing I want to do is I want to bring over some speed beacons. Okay, if we go like that, speed beacon. And that means I can put productivity modules in here. We can see this one is slowly, ever so slowly, making up more and more shiny rocks with productivity modules. And in theory, this one will do the same. The big difference is this one is now on pretty much an infinite loop system. It'll run forever, recycling its own materials. But we obviously don't want one of these machines running. We want a few running. And the reason we want all these shiny and dull rocks is this research down here tends to go through the uranium-235 fairly quickly. On top of that, as I said, the 238, which we literally have boxes and boxes and boxes full of the stuff really has no use. You know, there's 4.8, 2.4, another, what's that? There's 5, 6, there's like 7k in those two boxes. There's another, I don't know, who cares? 20,000, easy. Actually, let's just change them all to that type of box and I can just read the whole lot. There's 18,000 in the network. I don't have any use for 18,000 of these rocks. They can be used to make uranium rounds magazines, along with uranium cannon shells and explosive uranium cannon shells. But I'm not going to be building 18,000 magazines of uranium ammo. Oops, I boo-booed. You're meant to be a filter inserter as well for dull rocks. Okay, try again, JD. Alright, so we can see this picks itself back up away it goes. And we've just done this with 2 filter inserters. There are other ways to build this contraption. So it doesn't use as many... so it doesn't even need filter inserters. But that's a lesson for another video at another time. Now, I do want to see whether I can fit in more beacons. And the answer is yes. I can put in beacons. As you can see, they've got this yellow area. And I'm trying to maximize that yellow area onto the centrifuge. Same time, I'm also going to cut everything. Or actually, no, you're a bot build. We'll cut you. We'll slide you down on one tile. Because that's literally all the free space I needed. Okay. Beacon. Yeah, you'll need power. So, we're now up to a crafting speed of... We're still going up. 370%. As you can see, it's now flying along. But like I said, this is just one machine. Realistically... Oh, actually, realistically, I can put 2 more beacons in there and there. Now we're really going to start increasing that speed. We're actually waiting on beacons to be made. What is the story with our beacon production? It's just slow. No, there's 45 in the box. The bots are just slow. So now we're up to... So we went from a crafting speed of 1 to up to a crafting speed of 5.7. Up to a crafting speed of 6.7. And that's just one machine. And as you can see, it's now rotating around its rocks very, very quickly. But like I said, I'd really like more than one of these running. I'd really like a handful of these running. So we're going to take this, we're going to copy it. And I'm just going to propagate this along a few times. And... Oh, copy that. Replace the ones I used earlier. And now I can see things will definitely go a lot faster. The other thing I really need to do is I still need to store up all the dull rocks that we're not using. So I want to output priority right. So everything goes right first. And then whatever cannot fit going right, I want to put in some boxes. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to put power pole in there. Done. Okay, because that'll release more shiny rocks to go through the system. So we've got this centrifuge going flat out, and as he finally ends up having too many in his buffer, he'll let extra ones pass through to the next machine, the next machine, the next machine. But eventually, and this is the thing, eventually, this guy is currently outputting onto the far side of the belt. And if I extend this out slightly, we can see that there's all this extra uranium, the dull rocks, the 238. It is 238, isn't it? Yeah, 2, 3, 8 sitting there doing nothing. So I really need to have this loop back around and feed into the system. Technically, also need to do the same with the shiny rocks. I need to have that loop back into the system so we have a continuous loop. So what we're going to do is the shiny rocks is actually the easier of the two. We can take that and feed that straight back in onto this belt and have it loop around and around and around and around. Okay? And we can even do one better by, again, we could put in a splitter like this and we say output priority left. So that means things are always going to go left. And then should, for whatever sake, you know, you actually run into a situation where this belt is full of shiny rocks, which will happen eventually. What we can do is we can put one single box right here and we can fill that box up. One box holds 100 per stack and holds 48 stacks. So it's 4,800. If we end up with 4,800 shiny rocks, we're good. We're good for a while. But we also need to do the exact same with the dull rocks. So the dull rocks, we're going to loop back up. And back around here. But I can't fit it onto the top side of the belt. I still need to feed it into the bottom side of the belt. And the other thing I need to make sure I do is I actually feed it in before the main feed from the centrifuges. Because I don't want this belt to back up. I really want this belt on, as you can see, a continuous loop. It's just going around and around and around and around. And it'll keep doing that forever. But it means that uranium is there. It's available. As you can see, these two will push in. Yep. And it's also got gaps in the line where these machines have taken some of those dull rocks off the system because they're always pulling in 5 and only spinning back 2. So there's always a draw on this top belt. And as we can see, you know, this first centrifuge is still running flat out. What we can actually do to speed things up is we can take out what he's not using, put it in here. Take out what he's not using, put it in here. That's the one that this guy just outputted. No, there's lots of ones. As they output, the next one will pick it back up. Yep. 32. We just need to get this machine to 40. Once we get this machine to 40, we've technically got 3 of them running flat out. And we'll soon see that, you know, we went from just over 40 to start with. We've now got 40 in this machine, 40 in this machine, 30 something left over. You know, we've almost tripled our uranium in 20 minutes. Come on, one more. 36, 37, loop round. Oh, okay. There we go. Boom, we now got 3 machines running. And if I come back here in 10 minutes, dead set, the whole lot will be running flat out. Without a single worry in the world. I do have plenty of dull rocks I don't need. I can put those in there. And honestly, I'd like these to be moved like so. Actually, we'll put that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll have. Okay, so shiny rocks are done. Lots and lots of shiny rocks. The other thing I want to look at really, really quickly, providing we've got enough time, is I want to start making uranium rounds. Now, uranium rounds need piercing magazines, which we actually have a lot of hidden away somewhere. We should also keep an eye on our power, because our power usage is going to keep going up if I keep using beacons and modules everywhere, which I'm going to keep doing. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm going to keep doing it. I now have 15 modules on me, and this uses 4, 8, 12, so I should be able to go... Turn off personal robots, because I don't want any of this crap in my inventory. decommission all of that. And do the same over here. And then I should be able to copy that and that in its entirety and paste it right there. And it should just rebuild everything with the modules now in use. Those I can dump. Those I can dump. And you know what? We'll even work in advance and cut this one out and this one out. And something's being eaten. Oh! That was a sizable attack, obviously. We'll just upgrade the lasers slightly. Fighters do less well against the wall of lasers. Anyway, so upgrade all that. More modules put to use. Okay. Military here. So the military has twice the amount of ammo required to keep this assembly running. And we've done it before and we're going to do it again. We're going to put in a split that takes off uranium rounds. And the reason I've done that is I want to split half of it. And I want to siphon my uranium this way. Not my uranium. My ammo this way. And then I also want to pass it straight through. So this stops the risk of anything backing up. Of anything not getting passed along. If I just filtered ammo there. And I did a drain on this. You'd see that the grenades pass through, but the ammo doesn't because I've separated it out to go this way. If I do it from here instead, no, with red belt, that's what I've got on me, and then I suck some of this off the bus, you can see it still passes through by going through this plane splitter and down the system. So now we've done that, I want to... Where the hell do all those grenades go? Right there. Okay. Actually, let's just go assemblers. So I want a assembler making uranium rounds. Now, it takes 10 seconds to make a uranium round, so it's not exactly fast. And normally if something takes 10 seconds, my attitude is I just want 10 of them. That way I get 1 per second. So we'll do, that's 5. That's 10. We'll bring our ammo down here. We'll have our output on that side. And we're not running gun turrets on walls anywhere anymore, are we? Oh, you're not powered. Give you power. So, because we're not running gun turrets anywhere, this is basically going to be for personal use. So, because it's for personal use, I don't want to have to physically run over here to these boxes to pick stuff up. I want to be able to request it from the network and have the bots just deliver it to me. So, we're going to use bots for this. I'm going to put a inserter there with a chest. I'm going to say 200. No, they're stacking 200. So that's 400. Let's go with 1,000 rounds. 1,000 rounds is probably enough. And as you can see, because this is only on one side of the belt, I can even use a requester chest. Now we have them. No, I need one more tile to do that. It's alright, we'll fit it in here. And I can request those dull rocks from the other side of the base and be brought over and put into this chest. And oh, it turns out we're short a couple of stack inserters. You've got 37, you've got 47, you've got, when you finish your cycle, 33. So I've probably already got enough that I could boot these 3 machines as well. Come on, robots. Bring over the good stuff. Excellent. So, we're now making nice, bright, shiny green ammo. As we can see, this has got a damage of 8 plus 6.4. This has got a damage of 24 plus 19.2. This really, really, really turns your SMG into a very, very deadly weapon. It is late game research. It's very, very late game research. But yeah, definitely worth it when we get that far. Anyway, I think with that, that's pretty much the episode done. We've spent the whole episode playing with uranium. Haven't done anything about research. Maybe we can get some rocket control units, because that's really the only things we need to unlock, both the nuclear bomb and the actual rocket to get off this planet. Obviously we're still short on resources. That hasn't really been fixed. Me using modules has definitely helped, but no, you're already running. Okay, take out you, take out you, take out you. Give me that. Give me that. There we go. All 6 are running. None of them got any spare yet that they've actually outputted back in the system and back in the box yet, but it's going to get there slowly. And meanwhile, our robots are picking up dull rocks to go feed into our ammo production, which already has 50 rounds in there. Not a lot, but it's going to get there slowly. So yeah, I'm going to call it here for this episode. We can keep making modules as we've been doing and get extra out of the system as we are. Or keep using less copper and less iron to make things by using modules. Or our other option is we can also go off and tap some more copper and some more iron and put down some more smelters. Next episode, we'll sort of start making up our minds on what we're going to do there. Realistically, the best way to keep the base up and running is literally add some more copper smelters. Because these guys, they are going flat out. They have not quite full belts, full compressed belts in, or I guess they do when they're also being fed by the train. So yeah, we do have full compressed belts in. Yeah, it's really our best option is add some more smelters and inject some copper sort of like here where it's dead. And that way we can keep the rest of the base running. But we are making modules at an alright rate. We now have, from the looks of it, almost continuous resources coming in. Not quite. The red circuits are still a little bit short. But as long as we keep upgrading the copper with more modules, that will leave more copper on the bus to then get fed into our module production. The other thing we can... Yeah, the other thing I should probably doing is... That's already set up. Is probably up... Oh, you're set to go the other way. Upgrade these guys. Because they already have modules in them, to at least upgrade them to tier 3. Because that way they have a faster speed. So even with their modules, they're going to run faster, and therefore these guys are going to get more use than the ones down here that have no modules whatsoever. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to leave the episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode where we might even just go off and just play with some uranium ammo. Actually, we probably should automate the uranium tank shells and the explosive uranium shells as well, because... Why not? If we're going to go into combat, we might as well use all the different bits of uranium possible, and we'll probably just go clear off the whole northern peninsula, because why not? Like I said, something to do. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and with research finished, I'm going to call it here for this episode. All right, I'll see you in the next one.